Hello everybody, Kirk here with Space Pickle Designs, and today I'm going to make this project that I've had in my mind since I placed the order for these materials from BB Craft. So again, if you'd like any of these materials, they were kind enough to send me these materials for free in order to make some tutorials for you guys. So I will have the links in the description box below. But let's just go see if we can make this happen. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm still going to do knotting because I am definitely on my knotting kick still, as you can tell from my last few tutorials. But I want to do a 3-strand knot. So what I'm going to do here, I have one strand that is probably 2 arm spans long, maybe a little shorter. I've already prepped the ends. I'm going to put that through and find the middle, which we have done right here. I'm gonna put quickly a little bead bug just to keep it kind of centered. I have another strand that is half the length of the long one, obviously because we only need one size. So let me go ahead and put the prepped end through because it might be easier. All right. This button, this is going to be the tough part because I'm going to leave a little bit of the tail so that we can make a knot. All right, so I'm just going to make this overhand knot. Just want to run it down, get it as neat as possible. Get it to where you like the look of the knot. And so I do that by like kind of tugging on each one here. And make sure you wash your hands if you're using white cording. Wash your hands before, because this will pick up any and all dirt if you're using this white cotton cord. So I just made this overhand knot. This is what mine looks like. And now we are just going to just put some beads on and go for it. I'm gonna leave my tail on for now. I'll cut that off after I glue everything. I don't foresee it getting in the way too bad. If it does, then we will adjust. So I'm just going to be making a bracelet using small beads up front. Here we go. I'm using just some seed beads from my stash. All right, and then so for the others, I'll probably stagger. I don't want this kind of being bulked up too much. But just be forewarned, not all of these beads in this kit actually work. The holes are bigger than others on some, and so I won't be able to use any of the tiger eye beads. I don't think I was able to get any. So this is just going to be a purely like white and blue and black kind of piece here. All right. See if these black ones work. These are the bigger ones. All right, you do see there's a little nib of cotton at the end. Okay, I'm gonna do some rondelle action and another one. So this is the component. And you know what I probably am gonna do? I'm gonna keep the strands different, but in the same, like, probably design. on each one. So like each strand is going to be its own thing. And so I think this will be my pattern for this one. Go ahead and put one of these silver. These are like large hole silver beads, and these will definitely need a anti-tarnish coating on them, which I am fully prepared to do. Okay. And then a seed bead. That looks so nice on its own, honestly. But we're gonna go extra. We're gonna be extra. It's a little risky doing this on a, like, doing 3. Well, I guess it's not too risky, but when you're doing knotting, it's just hard to take the knots out. So kind of like what you get is what you get, unless you really are patient. I am not. Knots are one thing that will get on my last nerve. So we get what we get with these. And so this is going to be my pattern for the length of the bracelet, or I could actually do a necklace. I might, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to do about 6 inches of the beadwork, and then I'll meet you back for the next design. So just to be safe, I got about 6 inches, 6¼ inches all together. I think with, I do have a 6½ inch wrist. All together with these strands though, I think I'm going to have to make a 7-inch bracelet because of the bulk. But I wanted to be more safe than sorry. And so we're going to start with the 2nd strand, and I'm just going to put a little seed bead. I like doing that because it's like smaller towards the top, and we might actually put 2 or 3 to kind of get that, to kind of get the beadwork started before we clash with. So I'll put 3 on this guy here. And then the other one we may not start with any. It's all about balance with these guys. I do want this to be full, but I don't want it to be like crazy. Just like, I want there to be some thought process behind it. And so let's go ahead and do one more. And these are just super cheap seed beads that you get from like Hobby Lobby. They're normally 50% off, so it's like $2 a tube. These are like a 6-inch-ish size. These are not for bead weaving. They are very irregular, but they are great for stuff like this. Okay, so if you're seeing what I'm seeing here, it does kind of flare, and that's okay because the fullness of this bracelet, and we can choose to braid it if we want to, but I'm going to start with I want this strand to be like a bluish strand. And so we're going to start with these little blue crackles. Zoom me in a little bit closer now. So let's try a blue crackle. And so this one's white and black. This one's going to be blue and white. And then the 3rd strand, I think, is going to have all 3 elements together. So I'm going to take one of these bigger, like veiny, almost like vintage china looking beads. And these are just really pretty. Even if they're dyed, which I'm pretty sure they are. I just really do like the color on them. It's a very approachable color. And so now we have one of the smaller beads again. And so I think we could do, let's see what we got working here. Do we want to bring a metallic element in? Because we could do that. don't mind that. That's just like the nice thing about like a little lovely little just plain seed beads here. So I am going to repeat the pattern this way, the blue. It's crazy, once you get the bead through the initial like hump of getting it on the string, it's totally okay. It's just getting it on there is kind of a lot sometimes. And then we're gonna do this one. Oops, I just hit my light. I like doing them super tight because it will relax over time. As you can see, I'm getting a little frayed here. And so that's why I cut, or I glue like 2 inches of thread so that I can keep cutting if I need to. So just cut it back into a point. This is just so nice. It's very wintry, isn't it? That white. You really don't see a lot of just like straight up white cotton cord jewelry, but I think winter is that perfect frosty time for it. So what I want to do here is kind of see where this design is at. Are we at halfway? Are we not? And so let's see, so halfway is technically like right there on the white bead is. So we could choose to do like 3 white beads in the middle as our focal and then repeat the process. It's why it's kind of handy to have. But doing this is risky because then you are actually creating a middle. So what I think I'll do is I'll just keep the pattern and then I'll just finish it off with seed beads at the end to get my length. And so this is kind of what I'm gonna do. I'll show you here in a second here. I'm just gonna do a repeat of this until I get kind of like the length I want, and then I'll do a couple seed beads at the end, and then we'll see where we are, and we'll then go ahead and look at the 3rd strand. All right, so I have my 2nd strand and it's looking so cute. I can't wait to get this 3rd strand going. I wanted to add this extra strand because I just don't like how 2 strands looks. That's just me personally, but this one could technically be in the middle. It's looking like that's how it's gonna lay, especially if we give it a little room to breathe up there at the top. And yeah, I think I want to combine blue and black and maybe a little bit of white. I think I want to keep it kind of like a dark strand in the middle. Maybe not. We'll see. So I think we're working with only a couple more beads that will actually fit, and so some of them are the lava beads, so I don't know if I want to go that organic since we are using the smooth. But I definitely want to use these large blue crackle beads. And so at least a few of those. I think we should bring in some more of, let's see if the white actually fit. Okay, there's one that fits. Okay, so the white will fit. but we need black. We for sure need black. So let's see if I can use the small ones. I think the small is going to be a challenge, but I don't have to keep you on camera to do it. Just trying to see. I think we can do some of the small black. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do, actually, we could do these instead of the big white ones, because I don't know, I'm a little off put by the big white ones. So like this, black, 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 black. And I think what we should do is use some of these smaller, because we're like tying the whole thing together in this middle strand here. So I just want to see how many we have. I need 2 per. And I know we have a bunch, but I just want to make sure we have enough of these small ones. 1, 2, 1, 2. I do need 2 more of these. I love these like dyed ones with the veining on them. And there's some in here you can see that don't have any of the veining, and I'm gonna actually keep those aside. I don't want to use those. I actually want ones with a lot of veining. And so this will be the pattern. And I think with the beads, with the knots, I mean, it will work. So I'm actually gonna just start with 1, and I'm gonna take, like, you see this one, it's very thin. And I'm gonna make it loose because I don't want it to be too like far up there. I want it to be able to move. So there's some wiggle room there, and that's on purpose. All right, so as you can see, there's a little bit of wiggle room, which is what I wanted. And I'm gonna start with a black bead. Okay, kind of got what I want here. Just put this over to the side. We're gonna do black, and these are the ones that are gonna give me a little bit of trouble, but this is a very sturdy cotton cord here. So just a black, regular black. And these are bringing all of the elements in together. So then, in order to save some time, I'm going to do small, like marble. I'm gonna do a spacer, a big blue crackle, spacer, and blue marble. So here's our lovely, lovely component. I love that so very much. I think that just saves us a little bit of time. All right, to get our black bead on. your tools are there, like they just save you for real. Okay. And then we just continue with this component again until we get our length. I've ended my third strand, and as you can see, they're a little off in terms of measurement, which is totally fine, because what we're gonna do is actually braid them, because I think when I tried it earlier and I thought it looked really, really nice. So right now I'm measuring a little, like one of these strands measures 8. One is like, 2 others are like 7.5, and you'll see the shrinkage for this bracelet. But essentially what I'm gonna do is braid this in a loose-ish braid. Now I started like this, so we're gonna do a loose braid. All right, and so you see, like, we're not quite matching up, and that's okay, because you just kind of work it. And I think we're gonna be about good there. So we wanna make sure that that's in the middle. And so here's our little braid. So that's gonna look really, really good. But what I wanna do now, just to like get the knot going, I wanna make sure that they're all kind of centered right there. We wanna make sure that they're all as close to the knot as possible. All right. So we have this beautiful knot. And that was actually used a little bit facetiously. I don't really think I'm capable of doing pretty knots, but here you are in your braid shape. And so this is what this bracelet will look like, right? And so you see that we still, like, I'll show you. Bring the ruler. We have shrunk about an entire inch, which is good. And because this is so bulky too, it'll take more room on the wrist as well. So I am a 6.5, like 6 1/4 inch wrist. And so this is measuring about, still with the knot, like a 7.5, and it still looks good. And so what we want to do now is just decide if we want to braid. What we could do, we could braid and then tie another knot. Let's see what that looks like. And this would be a tight braid. I like to protect them with beads though, if I'm being honest. Just because of the color of this. And I don't think my braid is gonna look very good. So what I'm gonna do, because I'm not very dexterous. So what I think I'm gonna do is just take one of these and make a loop with seed beads. And these are just the white ones that we've been using. This way it'll keep a nice white color to it with lots of wear. And nothing says you can't wash your jewelry. I know some people that do that. As long as you got some like coating on the metals and you let it air dry pretty like quickly, you don't let it set in the moisture. It all depends on your climate though too. Like Colorado is super dry. I don't think that this would mess with it too much, but you never know. So I have not done any scientific experiments on that. I'm loving this, you guys. I think it's so cute. As you can see, I'm only using one strand. Bring it back. See if that's long enough. And it is. I actually think I could take probably 2 off. But I don't want it, like, you have to tie this one a little bit loose. Let's see. This was a pretty small button. I'm actually gonna add one back just so we're not struggling. And I'm gonna bend it. And I'm just gonna create another knot with all 3. So you're kind of tying everything together. And again, take your onesies by themselves and pull, and then you got your knot. So at this point, you can decide to finish off, which is what I am going to do, but you have all this real estate here to create dangles. And so you can by all means do that. I am actually just going to knot it off, glue it, saturate it in glue. And so I'll zoom you in to just show you just how much glue that I use. And so we'll start on the button side here, and it's such a large knot. You want to get into all the nooks and crannies, and with the glue, you can actually see it take on a different shade. Make sure you're getting into where it's going through the button. You want to make sure that your whole cotton cord is saturated. So I am going to be cutting this piece off, but I find that it's nice to actually saturate a little bit of that too, because it will glue itself to the other piece. And so you are saturating your entire knot. So you can see there's a difference in color here between the saturated and the non-saturated. Now I lean that off to the side, not touching anything. And I'm going to saturate the other side. Now keep in mind, I am clipping my strings off. So I want this knot, I have tightened it. It is a wax cotton cord. I have tightened it strand by strand 3 or 4 times a piece. And so having this saturated is going to help with that longevity. You never want your piece to come apart because you didn't want to take the time to do it correctly. And so here is my version of correct. And that is to keep our knots up, and you can actually use a hairdryer for this, which is what I'll do because I am filming and I want to be able to film the last piece of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and take this into a hairdryer and then cut off the ends. And we will look at the finished product. Here's our finished bracelet. Isn't she so precious? Okay, let's try her on. And this should be all right. So keep in mind, I have a 6 1/4, 6.5 inch wrist. Haven't measured it in a while. I have gained some weight, so you know, take that for what it is. And yeah, this 7.5, 8 inch bracelet actually fits me really, really well, and I think she looks just so super cute. And so you'll see those little, I'm just waiting for the rest of the glue to dry. I'm not gonna rush it. Once it does dry into its complete form, its final form, I will be cutting off those little hairs there. But this is what you can expect. using that wax cotton cord, doing some knots, doing some 3 strand. And look, this is all of the beads that we still have left. Like, it looks like I haven't barely made a dent. There's some missing here and there's some missing here, but otherwise, like, you have so many to work with. And this was about an hour project, and I was watching ghost hunting videos, you know, in the middle of it. And so here you go. Tell me what you thought down in the comments below. I hope you are having a great Saturday in this holiday weekend. I hope you got some good deals, steals and deals for the, Small Business Saturday, Black Friday kind of celebration thing. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you're staying safe and well and warm. See ya.